Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama
Hare Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Started. Hare Krishna. I'll just start the topic and hand it off to Arjun Seka Prabhu. So over the last 3 sessions, we covered first topic was who am I? Right? We understood that we are not this physical body. We are the spirit soul. Soul is like the driver, and the body is like a mission. Right? So that we understood the identity of ourself. In the second session, we understood, just like the body is driven by the soul, this whole cosmic manifestation, we see so much order. And who is the one who is governing the whole thing? We understood the concept of God and how the whole thing was harmoniously was arranged. So just like the soul is the driver of the physical body, the universal cosmic body has this personality God who is driving. He's the driver of the universal mission. So we understood these two concepts to operate. So because we understood that this is like a mission, this body is like a mission, the soul is the driver, and the driver needs a manual to actually operate the physical body properly. So similarly, there are universal governing laws that are operating the universal mission by God. So we understood then, if I want to understand how to better utilize my body or better understand this whole universe, where do I get the knowledge, right? So we need like a life manual, right? So that was the third day session. Just like you buy a television, you get a manual, you know how to best use the device. So similarly, is there an arrangement for knowledge for us to seek and better utilize, better live in harmony with the existence around? So that was the third topic. And we all know, how do we gain knowledge in this world, right? So we discussed about the three mechanisms of how we gain knowledge, right? So one is direct perception. Through the instruments of this bodily senses, we gain knowledge in this world. So once you gain the knowledge, right, the second level of knowledge is Anuman Praman, or the extent knowledge by extension or inference, right, which is using the mental sense. The senses give the knowledge, and then mind puts that together and projects further knowledge beyond what the senses directly give. So that is Anuman Praman. But these two, we understood that they have certain limitations, because eyes can see certain range, ears can hear. We cannot gain perfect knowledge. If you want to really operate very well in this existence, you need perfect knowledge that is flawless. So the third knowledge, which is Shabda Prama, we discussed that in the last session. That is knowledge that stood the test of time. And we saw that Vedas were that knowledge. For example, we understood how the human embryology was all there in Bhagavatam scripture, ancient scripture. When there is no understanding of how, there is no technology there. Like, we understood about embryology just 50 years ago when, science advanced. But the whole science was described in Vedas without any inference to, modern scientific devices. So the Vedic science was perfect. It has, so many examples we have seen. Now we understood that Vedic knowledge is perfect and can help us, right? So now we'll see more solutions, how we can take some of those, wisdom from the Vedic text and use for our benefit. So that is the topic for today. How do we gain lasting solutions using the, Vedic wisdom? So that will be the topic. So I'll have Arjun Sakaprabhu do the session for today.
Hare Krishna. This is the first time probably I'm here. Last 3 weeks I couldn't make it. And I am seeing many of you all for the first time. Some are my friends here, but many of you all are my, again, friends, I would say, but we are meeting for the first time. So before we get started, I would just probably want to know who you are, and what do you do, and are you working, are you studying? There's something about yourself so that we get familiarized with each other. You start with the boys, we start with the girls. We start from here. Okay, we'll start from here. Mudra. Real estate. One very good friend of ours is also into real estate. Of course, he doesn't work in Zero, but he has contacts in Zero. Yes. How about you? Kushwant. You're looking for a job. We'll discuss that, by the way. That's a big time problem the youth have. Okay. Did you come here to the US for your master's or for your job? 2015. Okay. How about you? When did you come? Okay. Were you always here in this side? Okay. Wonderful. How about you?
I'm Samartha.
Samarth.
Yes. I was a master student. Now I'm certain.
UW?
Yes.
Masters in
ME data science.
data science. And you're looking for a job.
Yes.
You are from which part of India?
Karnataka.
Bangalore. You're also from Karnataka?
No, I'm from
Telugu? Chappandi. I'm not a Telugu, that's the only word I know. How about you? Where are you from? Gujarat. Okay. Yes. How about you?
I'm Nitin. I work at Experience. So I came up in 2016.
2016. Okay. You came for your master's?
Yeah.
Here at UW?
No, I was in Experience.
Yes. I was in New Jersey.
Oh, you're in New Jersey.
Yes. So I would come to New York pretty often.
Yeah.
Binghamton, yes.
Austin, Texas.
Where in Austin? I keep coming to Round Rock.
Oh, yeah. So it's near to.
Wonderful. Yes. Wonderful. PhD student. The eyebrows naturally go up if you hear of. Yes. Yes. Warner Brothers. I remember the first time I got familiarized with Warner Brothers was when the Harry Potter released. You see, when the Harry Potter releases, you have the Warner Media. That kind of popularized Warner Media. Of course, it was always popular, but kind of Harry Potter brought it out to the world. By Mohit and I, our roommates, we got to know each other like probably 2 years back. I was here and he was in Florida, and through a mutual friend, we got connected, and we have been living since. So that's the connection. You understand? So those who couldn't hear, they're husband and wife. I am like the spokesperson for them. Okay. Who am I? I am Arjun. I came to the US in 2017. I did my master's in New Jersey. And then for my job, I came here to Seattle. I was with T-Mobile. Then I was with this guy for about 4 or 5 years. And then recently I just switched my company. So I'm also IT. I'm also the same master, same thing that the youth go in for. And hands on our heart, realistically, we don't come to America for studies. We come for this. We all know it. Sab chehre mein pata chalta hai. We all understand Hindi, right? You definitely. How about you understand Hindi? Okay. So we all mostly we come here for making money. And as the conversion goes up, as it becomes 82 and 83 and 84, the smile on our face increases. Because the more it increases, the more we can send to India and the more we have in our bank account. So realistically, we don't come here for education. That's just a means to come to the country. It's mostly to make money. So here we see, we're talking about discovering lasting solution. When do you use the word solution? Correct, when there's a problem. Let's keep it interactive. You use the word solution when there's a problem. So if we are using the word solution, which means there's an ongoing problem. We all have problems, right? We all have problems. Is there someone who can put their hand up and say there's no problem? Everyone has it. If you think you don't have a problem, let me remind you, we are in America, I-140. See, that's the biggest problem. Priority date. Vermont Center, California Center, Nebraska Center. Is the biggest anxiety we have. जैसे हिंदू ग्रंथ में सुदर्शन चक्र होता है ना, Krishna is Sudarshan Chakra. It's like a Sudarshan Chakra hovering on our head. When the I-140 gets approved, if it doesn't get approved, 6 years H-1B is done, we have to head back to India. It's an anxiety, right? It's a problem we all have. But in the scriptures, this word problem is defined in a very interesting way, such that a problem is something that holds true for everyone. For example, if someone is in India, he may not know what an I-140 is. So he wouldn't see I-140 as a problem. But you would see that as a problem, right? So problem is something that holds true for everyone, irrespective of age, irrespective of male, female, Indian, American, where you come from, your caste, your gender. It's a problem that's meant for everyone. Wherever you are from, it's meant for everyone. So when you're talking about a solution, we're talking about those problems which are universal, which have been there from time immemorial, which was there, which is there, which will be there. And we are talking about solutions to those problems. Now, for example, you see during summers in India, you get boils, heat rash. Now, when you get a boil, what do we do? If you just generally seen, for those who get chicken pox, has anyone got chicken pox in the past? Yes. Now, when you get chicken pox, generally they say, if you have neem ka patta, अगर नीम के पत्ते से आप ये करो तो अच्छा लगता है. I have got chicken pox. I know, like if you just do it with that, you just feel better. But is that a permanent solution? No. Why are you getting chicken pox, or why are you getting boils, or why is it that people have blood transfusions? It's because the blood is impure. Dialysis. The blood is impure, and that's why the blood needs to be changed. Now, if I have chicken pox and I just keep doing, am I being intelligent? I'm just giving a temporary solution to it. But is that intelligence? Probably not. Intelligence would classify as when I go into the root cause of why it happened and how I can make sure it never happens again, right? Whether it's a heat boil, whether it's a chicken pox, or whatever it is for that matter. I remember when I was in New Jersey, of course, as bachelors, we know how clean and tidy our rooms are. When we are in India, you can resonate. It's probably those who are married cannot resonate too, but those who have been bachelors, and at one point everyone has been a bachelor, we know how clean and how tidy it is. जब बाहर से कोई आएगा तो फिर आप समझ ही लो. Now, I remember when I was in New Jersey and I was living with my roommates. New Jersey is a place where it's kind of populated with Gujaratis. Every place you go, you just find Gujaratis. I remember in one of the streets in New Jersey, you have an Indian street. And I always say this whenever I speak to the youth, there's an Indian street. And literally every restaurant that you find is an Indian restaurant. Every single restaurant. मानो ऐसा लगता है इंडिया आ गए, गुजराती आ गए. हर जगह यही दिखता है. And then I remember, I see a pan shop. You're not in India, by the way, you're in America. I see a pan shop. And you would be surprised. As I was walking next to that pan shop, I see pan stains on the ground. You are in US. So Indians कहीं भी जाए अपना धप्पा लगा ही लेते हैं. या हम मानो आ गए यहाँ पर. Now you see, I remember, so when I was there with my roommates, there comes a point sometimes when your room stinks, for example. Okay, the room is just stinking. Now, what would you do? Would you just if you put a room freshener, the odor is going to go away. But if it keeps coming back, is the room freshener the best way of solving the problem? No, it's not the best way. Which means you have to kind of look for the root cause of why it's happening. Like, for example, if there's a dead rat and you just keep काम नहीं बनने वाला है, because you're not solving the root cause. You pick up the dead rat and throw that guy out of the window. Now things are going to be perfect and you don't need the room freshener. Which means what we are coming to is problems are there, but addressing the problems are of two types. One is a temporary solution, which means putting a room freshener or doing, or the second aspect is throwing the rat out. Now, which do you think is more intelligent? Putting a room freshener or throwing the rat out? Throwing the rat out. Why? Because that's a permanent solution. This is what the ancient scriptures talk about. The problems and solutions that are permanent, that cause or remove the problem from the root so that it never comes back. How do I switch? I'm not a tech savvy, so.
Just click there.
Oh, you cannot do this?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So we see modern science offers stopgap solutions. And Vedic scriptures that are there, they offer a permanent solution. Now, I give you an example for this. Diseases, right? What was the latest disease that came up? Corona. The latest thing that came up was Corona. How about before that? Did we have a disease before that that pretty much caused havoc? Spanish plague? Okay, I thought it was Spanish flu. Anyway, pretty much same, right? In the 1920s. I remember when I was in India in 2010, you had swine flu. You had swine flu, H1N1. Yaad hai? Now, if you see from Spanish flu from 1920 till 2020 when COVID hit, there were so many diseases that came up. It starts with Spanish flu. If that's eradicated, you had rabies. That's eradicated, you had smallpox. I remember my grandfather would talk about smallpox. It was like an epidemic. That got eradicated. You had tuberculosis. That got eradicated. You had cancer. Then you had multiple variegated forms of cancer, blood cancer, bone cancer, this cancer, that cancer. Once that is done, then if you think you're done, you have swine flu, H1N1. If you think that is done, then you have COVID. And mind you, COVID is something which every single day we are hearing newer versions, right? It's a never ending thing. Every single day, you still find people who are positive. So it's a never ending thing. So we are giving solution to one problem, but it's coming back in another flavor, right? You're giving solution to tuberculosis, but it's not solving the problem. It's coming back as cancer. It's coming back as H1N1. It's coming back as COVID. It's coming back as Spanish flu. The diseases are coming back. You're just giving a temporary solution, but it's coming back in various flavors. So are we on the right track? Well, yes, because it's solving a problem, but is it solving problem as a whole? Probably not, because it's just solving a temporary. But Vedic wisdom solves or removes the problem from the root, as we talked about. No more diseases. Now, this gets us to three aspects of what we are going to discuss today. What are the real problems of life, apart from the I-140? Apart from that, what are the real problems of life? The temporary solutions that science provides and permanent solutions that the Vedic wisdom provide. So this is how we are going to chalk out our discussion. The real problems, temporary solutions, and permanent solutions. Now we're talking about real problems. What are the problems that we generally have? As far as the youth is concerned, what's the general problem? Getting a new job? That's a problem, right? Like, we can be honest, that's a problem. Now, if you're having a job, maintaining that job, making sure we are not fired, that thing is always there in the head. That ye team mein layoff hua, abhi next hum log ka bari hai. That thing is always there. Now, it's not just about the job. There are so many anxieties that we have. If you're a guy, then you have the anxiety of not having a bicep, going to the gym. Don't look at me. Getting married. That's an anxiety, right? We find like people are like sometimes 29, 30ish, and they're not getting married. So for some, that's an anxiety. We are not ruling that out. What are the other problems that we have? Health problem. Yes, how can we forget that? Health problems. कुछ ना कुछ तो होता ही है. घुटनों में दर्द होता है, सिर दर्द होता है, हाथ दर्द होता है, पेट दर्द होता है. We have problems from the time we get up in the morning. My goodness, we are plagued with problems, right? We all have it. Men, women, doesn't matter. We all have it. And we kind of see it. I'm seeing it because my father is going to turn 60 next year. And I have seen him when probably he was in his 40s. He was pretty active. He would travel. But now as age is catching up, I have seen he slow down. My mother has slowed down as age is catching up. And we would have seen with our parents also. Probably 25 years back, they were very fit. As age is catching up, it's difficult for us to see, but health problems are catching up. There is arthritis, so many other things. It's difficult for them to climb steps. It's difficult for them to get down. So health problems, what else? ना बाप बड़ा ना भैया, सबसे बड़ा रुपया. As we discussed, that's pretty much why we're coming here for. One friend of mine would often say, from India, he would say, money, brighter than sunshine, sweeter than honey. That's pretty much fact, right? Money, brighter than sunshine, sweeter than honey. For us, money is sweeter than honey. अगर शहद का बॉटल है, हनी का बॉटल है, और सामने $10,000 है, honey is sweet, but we'll kick that honey to the side and we'll take the dollars. How much ever sweet that is, we want the cash, we want the money. So it's financial stability. That's an anxiety we all have. That's a problem we all have. What are the other problems? We spoke about health. We spoke about job. You have something? Well, chances are less that someone is not going to like honey, but it's very interesting. There's one family relative of mine, and I was kind of surprised. He doesn't like mangoes. And I was like surprised, like, how can you not like a mango? I mean, it's the king of fruits. Like, who doesn't like a mango?
honey is not on the top of the list.
I know when I was living with the Gujaratis, it's something like Gujaratis are known for. Their dal is very sweet. Right? The Gujaratis, they put, I know, they put sugar. I remember when I was living with the roommates. Yes.
Yeah, it is well.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
here they might be using sugar if they don't have access to jaggery. But jaggery is considered healthier than sugar.
my roommate, of course, he would put sugar, and I was like, "अरे दाल में चीनी कौन डालता है? वो तो सब गुजराती डालते हैं." अरे मैं बोले ये क्या नया है? But it still tastes good. Like no offense, but it still tastes good. But it's not a conventional thing that you do. So everyone, like Gujaratis have something, the South people have something. But generally, you see, financial stability, health, what else? Money, job security, these are the problems that we have pretty much. But in reality, as we discussed earlier, problems are problems if it's common for everyone, right? Now, for example, if someone is a homemaker, a housewife is not working, for her, there's no question of job stability because she's not working. So she wouldn't see that as a problem. If someone is a US citizen, he wouldn't see I-140 as a problem, right? So coming back, we're going back in a loop. We're coming back to the same point and we're touching the nerve that problem is a problem which is true for everyone. A 20-year-old, a 40-year-old, a 50-year-old, whoever they are, inside University Heights, outside, anywhere they are, it's common to everyone. Now just put little stress in your head and give me 4 problems. The Vedic wisdom explains 4 problems that are common for everyone. छोटे बच्चे से बूढ़ा तक. Problems that are beyond even human species. They hold true even for animals, cats, dogs, buffaloes, and they hold true even for the humans. Whether they're from the Amazon forest, not Amazon job, whether they're from the Amazon forest or wherever they are from. Something that holds true for the humans, for the animals, for everyone. And it's considered as a big time problem. Yes. Death. Now we are on the right track. Death is a big time problem. Is there anyone who wants to die? मेरे को मरना है. कोई है ऐसा महापुरुष? नहीं मरना है किसी को. सब डरते हैं. Even the thought of death is very painful. You know, sometimes we've all gone through it. Sometimes you get those dreams wherein in the dream you're falling from a mountain. Yeah, has that happened? In the dream you're falling from steps. Just that thought gets you up. Even the remote feeling of dying gets you up. Nahi marna hai. And people do so many things. Nahi marna hai karke. So many things. I know, I mean, with all due respect, my grandfather is no more. 2 years back, at the age of 90, he left this world. So when at 83, he slipped in the bathroom. This was in India. I'm from Mumbai. So he slipped in the bathroom and he fell. And that kind of got him like a paralytic stroke. So we had to lift him up, get him to the bed, etc., etc. And then he was recovering. And as he was 83 and 84, he was finding it difficult to walk. So then I told him that, no, why don't you use a stick? So to that he replied, if I use a stick and I go out, people will think I'm old. I said, Arey Baba, you're 83. Ab sochna hai kya? You're 83. And the seriousness with which he told, he was convinced he's still young. He was convinced. And that's, you see, even if someone is 65, 70, the ego doesn't allow you to accept the fact कि मैं बूढ़ा हो गया. सर में बाल होगा नहीं, दांत होंगे नहीं, चलने होगा नहीं, दिखेगा नहीं, लेकिन मैं नहीं मानूंगा कि मैं बूढ़ा हूं. I am still young. So death, it's something that brings shivers down the spine. Nahi marna hai. It's a big time problem. Do animals have it? Yes. Do humans have it? Yes. Male, female, Indian, American, everyone has it. It's a problem. Now, on those lines, let's think. What are the other problems? Yes. Diseases. And we spoke about that. Tons and tons and tons of diseases. If someone is in the medical route, or even if you're not in the medical route, every single day we see there's so many diseases. Kuch na kuch to aata hi hai. Even if you're hale and hearty, you have headache, or you have something or the other that keeps coming. Even the animals have it. I remember when I was in New York, I was walking the streets of Manhattan, and there we have one of our temples in 22nd Avenue. So I was walking there, and while you're walking there from the 14th Street, when you're walking there after you take a train, I saw one a clinic, and it was a clinic for the dogs. So I was going with a person. One person was taking me. So I said, "Kutte bhi bimar hote hai," and it was a clinic. It was a psychiatrist clinic for the dogs. So I said, "कुत्ते का भी सिर घूमता है?" So that person said, "कुत्ते का सिर घूमता नहीं है, कुत्ता ठीक ही होता है, इंसान के साथ रह के उसका सिर घूमने लगता है." कुत्ता ठीक ही होता है, इंसान के साथ रह के पागल हो जाता है. I am not joking. In Manhattan, you have dog psychiatrist. I was perplexed. You don't find that in India, right? It's very foreign for us. You have dog psychiatrist, which means even diseases is something even the dogs have, and humans का तो बोलना ही क्या. So death, diseases, two problems. Everyone has it. They had it, they have it, they will have it. What else? There are two more. What is in line with death? Yes, got it. Birth. Birth and death go hand in hand. Now someone may say, अरे birth के साथ दुख है. How is it a problem? मेरे को तो मजा आया. मैं जब जन्म लिया मेरे को मजा आया. In reality, if you see, imagine if I lock you up in this room. I'm not going to. Imagine I lock you up in this room, and you are in this room for 9 months. There's no one whom you can talk to. You don't have a phone. It's completely dark. Will you like me after that? Probably not. Why? Because you're confined in a place. The nature of a human is to move about. Freedom is natural. You want freedom. But if you're confined in a place, it's not something that you are very fond of. Now the scriptures explain the small child that is there in the womb of the mother for 9 months. Confined. Cannot move, cannot stand, cannot speak, nothing. Now, on top of that, you see, when a lady is pregnant, she will have urges. Kuch tikha खाने का मन कर रहा है. So generally, ladies, when they're pregnant. Now it is explained the child does not have skin. It's raw. And now when it's raw, when spice hits, you know how painful that is going to be. Imagine you don't have a skin and mirchi lag gaya. जलता है ना? तो यदि 50 या 20 साल के बालक को अगर जलता है, तो हम ये कैसे ठुकराए? How can we not accept the fact that a small child who has no skin, he will not be burnt? The mother eats spicy. Now she is liking it, but the child is not liking it. It's painful for him. And because it's painful, he kicks. But when he kicks, the mother says, "Arey, bachcha laat mara." It's celebrated. The child is actually not happy. He is kicking for the fact that he wants to come out. He's confined for 9 months, but that kick is taken as a positive sign. But actually, it's painful. You pass stool in the same place. You pass urine in the same place. If you are hungry, you're dependent on your mother. You cannot speak anything. When she eats, that's when you can eat. If she doesn't eat, you have nothing. When she drinks water, that's when you have anything. If she eats spicy, your skin is burnt. Is that a pleasure or is that a pain? That's a problem, right? 9 months. And that's why you see, if it's not a problem, why is it that the child, when he's coming out, is always crying? Every child cries. And now you see doctors, I've seen many times in India, in America also, there may be some random cases where the child doesn't cry. Agar bachcha rota nahi hai, to that doctor hits, chal ro. And now the child cries and the doctor is happy. But generally, in most cases, you see the child cries. If it was actually pleasurable, why is it that the child is crying? It's a pain. It's a problem. It's a problem for the animals, and it's a problem for the humans. Death is a problem for the animals. It's a problem for the humans. It's a problem for everyone. Diseases. There's one more. What else? We spoke about it. I was speaking about my grandfather. Old age, yes, old age. Sab booढ़े होते. Everyone gets old. It's something that we don't like. And you see, old age is something that there's so many technology that comes up with to make sure you're not old. Anti-aging, wrinkles, sab creams aata hai. And like people apply various creams. Huh? Plastic surgery. Speak about Hollywood. Every person is plastic surgery. For some it works, and for some it just goes completely off. No one wants to be old.
$2 million to the researchers to figure out what every body part needs in terms of macro and micronutrients. And we followed that strictly, and we basically beds that is not in the
अरे इतना पैसा है तो हमें दे दो. If $2 million है, no need of Zillow. If there are $2 million in bank account, no need of Amazon. पैसा है, मजा करो. I know. I was correct. Recently, I was saying it was there on. Someone sent me. It was there on Instagram as a reel or as a just as a post. There's one guy in Japan. He spent more than $20,000 to become a dog. Go home and Google. It was there recent. He spent more than $20,000 to become a dog, and he has done like God knows what, like a plastic surgery or something. From a human, now he's a dog. He to become a dog. There was a video. He is oh kutta ban gaya hai abhi. And now he has a master. Now this is height. Loving dogs is good, but doing a plastic surgery to become a dog, my goodness, this is बहुत ही ज़्यादा पैसा है. So these are 4 problems that the scriptures talk about. You have death. So let's do it the other way. We have birth, we have death, we have old age, and we have disease, which is constant for everyone. These are the problems that we think we have. No physique, no job, family problem, no money. I am not handsome. That's irrespective of whether the boys or girls. And we may or may not be handsome, but we are convinced we are handsome. And if you think you're really handsome, look at your face when you get up in the morning. Look at that most smiling face. When you get up in the morning, you have not showered, you have not brushed. Look at that face. We know how we are. Failing in exam, relationships, heartbreaks, breakup ho gaya mera. It's a problem that people face. But is that a problem that's generic? Is it for everyone? Probably not. Someone may be happy to be single, so he may not have a relationship problem. It is common to all? Nobody wants it. किसी को मरना है, नहीं मरना है. किसी को बूढ़ा होना है, नहीं होना है. Do you want diseases? No. So it's common for everyone. And most important, nobody can avoid it. Can you avoid death? Can you? No. You may be Mukesh Ambani. You may have Antilla. You may have a helipad landing. You may be the biggest billionaire. You may be Elon Musk. You may have a mansion at Mercer Island. Can you avoid death? No. जब मरना होता है, gone. Game, set, and match. You're done. Do you want it? You don't want it. No one cares. Diseases. Does it knock your door? Do you want a COVID? It doesn't ask. It just comes to you. No one wants it. Old age. It just comes. Birth. Did we pick our parents? Were we even given the choice? First of all, no. We were not even given the choice. चलो गुजरात में पैदा हो जाओ. चलो कर्नाटका, आंध्र प्रदेश, तेलुगु. We are not even given a choice. It's something we don't want, but we are just forced. We are just forced, and we have no idea why the cycle is even happening. And we have no idea how to even get rid out of it, right? So these are problems that's common to everyone: birth, death, old age, and disease. Birth, old age, disease, and death. Now, in the Bhagavad Gita, this is what Krishna explains. What we are discussing is pure Bhagavad Gita. Oftentimes people say that, oh, Bhagavad Gita is a religious text. It's not a religious text. It's more on how to lead life. When Arjuna was having a state of predicament, whether to fight or not to fight, Krishna is speaking as to what to do in life, how to approach circumstances. What Arjuna went through is something we all go through. He would have had a battle in the form of a war. We have battles every single day in the form of mind, right? Every single day it's a battle. There are thoughts after thoughts after thoughts. So Bhagavad Gita is not a religious text. It's more of a management oriented text. You see, even in the IIMs, in the MBA schools, they use Bhagavad Gita. It more or less teaches you how to live, how to approach life. When things go off, how to get back. So here Krishna says, one who can perceive birth, death, old age, and disease as real problems is a knowledge. And that's pretty much what we did. So congratulate yourself. All of us are in knowledge. We know what knowledge is because Krishna is speaking about it. Let's come to birth. For 9 long months, the human fetus lies crammed within the darkness of the womb, as we discussed, scorched by the mother's gastric fire. It's not just when she eats tikka, mirchi. There's gastric fire. Now it hurts the child. Jolted by sudden movements. If you're in India, and especially if you're from Mumbai, you know what the local trains are about. Or if you're from Bangalore, you know the Bangalore traffic. Constant jerks. Now, every time there's a jerk, a 25, 30-year-old mother may not feel it. For her, it's pretty normal. For the child, it's too much. One speed breaker may be too much for the child. And it is forced on the child. The child has no idea about it. There are worms, passes stool and urine in the same packet. We discussed all of these things. So that's a real-time problem. Does it actually look very pleasurable? No. The graphic says it all. So birth is painful. How about old age? Who's this guy? Arnold Schwarzenegger. Look at what he was to the left and what he was to the right. There was a very famous boxer, Muhammad Ali. Big time boxer. No one stood chance next to him. He was probably the king. But what happened? During his old age, he had Parkinson's. It's believed he who would crush everyone down couldn't even hold a glass of coffee. Muhammad Ali. He couldn't hold even a glass of coffee. No one wants it. It's just forced. We all want to remain young forever, but sadly, that's not a reality. With how much ever medicines we have and how much ever advancement of civilization and advancement of science we have, sadly, there's nothing we can do about it. You have the cosmetic industries, but still nothing works.
Most people spend their lives wrapped up in rushing to and fro. As time flows quickly by, days, months, and years rush by in the blink of an eye. Yet for some reason, people try to ignore this fact. It is as if they think they will never grow old. Yet the days of youth that they so fondly imagine will never end are really very short. Almost everyone realizes that he will grow old one day.
So
Yet young people
that's the
always
problem we all
feel
have,
that those
colleagues.
days are very
Disease, as we explained. We want to remain healthy, but are not able to. And death, of course. Big time problem. It is explained very beautifully that in that diseased condition, the dying person's eyes bulge due to the pressure of air from within, and his glands become congested with mucus. He has difficulty in breathing, and there is rattling sound within his throat. Thus, he dies most pathetically. Oftentimes, people say, when you die in sleep, people say, "Arey, ekdam shanti se mar gaya." Shanti se nahi mara hai. What that person is going through, we have no idea. Now, I just give you an example. Now, as we discussed earlier, in sleep, when you just see that you're falling off from a cliff, that experience is so much that you get up from the sleep. Imagine if that experience can get you up from sleep, how painful would the experience of death would have been that the person is not even able to get up. Get my point? How painful it would have been कि मानो उठ भी नहीं सक रहा है. It's done. So even if it's while sleeping, it's still painful. And there's nothing anyone can do about it. So it's 7:35. We stop here. We discuss 4 things today. The 4 problems. The 4 problems are death, old age, disease, and birth. Birth, death, old age, and disease. These are the 4 problems that pretty much everyone has, and it's like a circle. Samsara. In Sanskrit, they say samsara chakra. It's like a chakra, and everyone goes through it. There are few more other problems, which is a subset of these problems. What they are, we will see next week. And we will come back to the solutions. Given a choice, we can go for the next 1 hour. But unfortunately, there are some rules and we have to vacate this place by 8. So we will continue next week. Please make sure you come. And if possible, make sure if you have friends who are like-minded, make sure you get them also. Even if they have not attended today, doesn't matter. We can get them on par. And these are problems that it needs to be addressed. Especially as a youth. You're not going to address these problems when you're an 80-year-old, when you can't see, when you can't hear, jab chal nahi pa rahe. When you can't do any of these things, that's not when we are going to discuss. Now is the time, when we are hale and hearty. So this is the time. Thank you all for coming. We discussed 4 problems of birth, death, old age, and disease. What are the subset problems or the 3-fold miseries, and what are the solutions to them, and how we can tackle those solutions from a science standpoint and from a Vedic standpoint, from a stopgap solution and from a permanent solution. We will see next week. So next couple of weeks, I will be here. Your earlier speaker is going to India. So I'm replacing him. I don't want to replace, but he is going to India. So he kindly asked me. So next couple of weeks, again, I will be doing. And we will be continuing on these aspects, and we'll be touching on points that are less spoken about, which need to be addressed. Once again, thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Huh? No, Adi David, Adi Bautic on the admission, problems caused by the mind, problems caused by other living entities, and problems caused by natural disasters.
Those are the it's all
Did a fair bit of
under
research.
material.
Correct.
In the material world, even the subtle aspects of material.
Yeah, my honors integrated. It's just kind of on the side of it.
What's your good name?
Correct.
You're the one who met Prabhupada.
And, Jayananda,
Oh, you met Jayananda Prabhu? He came here to Seattle?
man, I met him in San Francisco on Hay Street, he was working at Jagannath.
Whatever he does, only.
Who is Jayananda Prabhupada? Wow.
So, yes, it just happened to be going by and I thought he was very, very, uplifting devotee. Very, very kind, very, very happy with him.
Very educated and very energetic.
Yeah, and he was also perfect the wheels of the hearts because it's so, you know, and it's parts, those are good.
Next to the motion.
Well, and quickly, our business, the one. So, yeah.
हाँ हो गया सितंबर को डील कर नवंबर 20th को जाना 2 months को Microsoft HCL HCL it's offered by HCL now the HCL Very nice. I am not sit up.
It's very nice. I'm sorry, I'm also traveling. So generally I attend your session from the beginning. So I'll try to attend from.
I forgot your name.
Me too, yeah.
It's not about how much organic
आप
food
कहाँ से हो
you're
India?
eating.
Hare Krishna, we are ending the class. We'll resume next week. Hare Krishna.